continues today as corporations continue to outsource their jobs to low-wage countries in order to maximize profits and minimize costs. And while the outsourcing of American jobs is wreaking havoc on workers in this country, some people actually think it's a good idea. And there are some who believe we should outsource all American jobs. One of those people is Davin Michaels, founder and CEO of 123 Employee and author of the book Outsource Smart, Be Your Own Boss Without Letting Your Business Become the Boss of You. Davin, welcome to the program.
Tom, thanks for having me. Let's outsource everybody's job.
There you go. Well, you heard my riff. You know, what is it that why are you so enthusiastic to abandon American workers?
Well, actually, my specialty, Tom, I work with entrepreneurs all over the globe. So I don't work with the large corporations and help them with their outsourcing. I work with entrepreneurs. So my goal is to really save the American dream and to offer inexpensive but incredibly effective resources to entrepreneurs all over the planet.
Like cheap labor.
Yeah, exactly.
So how is that good for the United States?
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. An entrepreneur here today in the U.S. might hire a couple of virtual assistants overseas. It's inexpensive for them, and they help them grow their business. So then that entrepreneur begins to hire more people in the U.S., they buy more goods and services in the U.S., they pay taxes in the U.S., and they stay in business. It is good for the U.S. economy. Is it perfect? Absolutely not, but it's working.
Why do that, though? I mean, why, if you can get cheap labor overseas to start your business, why not, like, Apple, for example, keep the cheap labor overseas to build your business? Or
well,
Nike or any other company?
Well, you use arbitrage. You actually end up with employees all over the world. Today, because of the Internet, everything, the world is flat. And so people and businesses will source their goods and labor wherever it makes the most sense.
So you're saying that with 7 billion people on planet Earth, 5 billion of them living on less than $1 a day, 1 billion of them living on less than $2 a day, that American workers should just suck it up and get ready to work for $1.50 a day?
Well, actually, if we look at something like that, let's look at places like the Philippines, which is really a hotbed of outsourcing. And, people today couldn't imagine living in a level of poverty as they might in the Philippines. And America was built on helping their fellow man. For the very first time in history, there's a burgeoning middle class in the Philippines, and that's all due to the call center industry. And people in the Philippines are brothers and sisters, as are people next door.
So we should screw American workers because it's good for poor people in other countries?
No, absolutely not. American workers have to become re-educated or start their own business.
Or lower their expectations.
America is the most, no, definitely not. America is the most entrepreneurial place on the planet. It's time to start a business. More and more Americans are starting businesses every day. As a matter of fact,
that's because they're getting laid off by companies that are outsourcing their jobs.
Well, you know what? That's great. So finally, they're going to be in control of their own destiny by having their own business.
So your solution to the American unemployment problem is start your own business?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I've started 7 or 8 businesses in my life. I'm not opposed to entrepreneurship, but I can tell you that most of the people that I know don't have the inclination, don't have the skill set, don't have the resources to take the risks. There's a lot of people who just want a job.
Well, that's true, but skill set can absolutely be learned, and today it's less expensive.
I don't think the entrepreneurial skill set can be easily learned. I think that
I believe it can be.
Personality type.
I went to the school of hard knocks. That's how I learned.
Yeah, it requires attention deficit disorder. You got to have ADD to be a successful entrepreneur.
That is actually true. But one thing I will say, Tom, is that today it is so easy to start a business. When I started my first business, it was all brick and mortar. So I had to buy a building, I had to do the leasehold improvements and what have you. It was very expensive. Today you can come up with an idea, you can throw it up on the internet, you can throw some traffic at it within a week or two, and if it flies, you can begin growing a business. So today you can come up with an idea, you can throw it up on the internet, you can throw some traffic at it within a week or two, and if it flies, you can begin growing a business. So today you can come up with an idea, you can throw it up on the internet, you can throw some traffic at it within a week or two, and if it flies, you can begin growing a business. So today you can come up with an idea, you can throw it up on the internet, you can throw some traffic at it within a week or two, and if it flies, you can begin growing a business. So today you can come up with an idea, you can throw it up on the internet, you can throw some traffic at it within a week or two, and if it flies, you can begin growing a business.